Morning, Fulham fans, to another episode of Live by the River as we review the Carabao Cup match between Newcastle and Fulham, which ended up Newcastle 2, Fulham 1. And you're welcome, Wissa. Kick-started his season, didn't we, Tom?
Yeah, slightly frustrating that on the first game where the AFCON players are unavailable for us, basically the one player who would have been affected by AFCON for them, who was worth being affected, was playing. So a little bit of injustice we felt there, but I'm sure we'll go on to ultimately we just didn't deserve anything anyway.
No, we deserved to lose. And yes, it was massively ironic that he opened up the score. But I felt that game sort of reminded me of the end credits of the original Incredible Hulk that was transmitted in the 1980s, Tom, so you won't remember it. And the end credits always had this really poignant, melancholy tune called The Lonely Man, as you saw the Hulk in his human form just hitchhiking into the distance, searching for peace. And it's a bit like Fulham. I just never, ever I never really believed. I don't know whether you're different. Did you ever believe we were going to win that match? Even before it, I doubted. But then after about half an hour, I thought, no, we're not going to do anything with this.
I mean, there were so many parallels with the league game earlier in the season. Obviously, that was 2-1. They scored in the last minute in that game as well. Yeah. And again, similar, they weren't very good. It was two poor teams. There were so many mistakes.
I thought they weren't at the races at all.
And you look at the bench, Voltemada was on the bench, Joe Linton was on the bench, Tonali was on the bench. I thought Tonali, when he came on, made a massive difference.
He was a great player.
Industrious, and he was actually getting back. Before that, we were having some joy, but we just couldn't pass in a straight line. It was a really odd performance, and there's so much stock into, Silva wants that trophy, he's ambitious. But really, it was a horrendous performance. It was like the Palace 3-0 last season where, we just weren't up for it. And the attack is really poor. I think we massively missed Iwobi and Chukwueze like we knew we would. But Raul's minus a player at the moment, as far as I'm concerned. He shouldn't be out there.
Well, he does his defensive duties and he runs down... the ball consistently throughout the match. I mean, in the first minute, I remember he got that corner in the first sort of minute, didn't he? So
but then you see him slowly
but then he
start to run out. And there was even a point in the second half where I don't know whether this was a tactical decision or if Raul and Harry between them decided this, but Raul couldn't press, so he had to just hang on the right midfield in Wilson's position and just kind of stay in our bank of four while Wilson was running around doing Raul's pressing job for him. So he just doesn't have the energy at the moment, whether it's injury related, fitness because he's 33 going on 34. It's just minus a player. Especially after the 50th minute, that's what it feels like. We're just running around without any sort of focal point. Wilson tried really hard all game.
He ran his guts out, didn't he?
But he had no service.
There was no service whatsoever for him. And the first sort of 20, 30 minutes, I thought, we were okay. I think the fact that we got that goal back and... I mean, that was a fairly straightforward, easy goal. I felt that the Newcastle's defence was...
They were there for the taking.
I mean, they opened up for us and I was very surprised.
It was lovely to see Robinson getting a trademark.
Actually got across to a Fulham player
But he had a few, even in the second half as well, which is good because in the last game, I mean, let's be honest, Robinson is always capable of absolutely ballooning across, but it really seemed like he was getting his eye in more this game, which was lovely to see.
There was a distinct improvement. And in fact, Tom, because I know you're gagging to know the Opta point score, our highest player was Robinson with 24.2. And that's obviously because of his assist. And I think he did have the most, would you say, most impact in that game?
Yeah.
Bar Lukic, who scored.
Yeah, I thought... I was really pleased with Wilson and the work he was doing. But he was just on his own. I just think there's a real creative issue now Iwobi and Chukwueze is gone. And I think it's a real struggle to see how we fix that because the players I thought had poor games were the two new recruits. I thought Lecomte doesn't seem to like to catch the ball. It's like he's just got stumped. I mean, he's brilliant at penalties, but he just could not get his hands on the ball.
He just didn't. I after rewatching it a number of times, I'm cringing more and more every time I see it. He did have a man.
Well, that first goal.
Oh, that was
totally preventable.
Again, I've watched that goal about 6 times, and literally it was just like Wissett. All he had to do was keep running forward, and it just rebounded off him into the net. And there was, I mean, it was there was mild peril, let's say, in the cross by Murphy, who I love. I think Murphy's such an underrated player.
Well, he's one of those where you wouldn't be hugely excited if he played for you, but when you're playing against him, you're really scared because he just gets the ball in as soon as he can. And, I mean, I know that a lot of Newcastle fans saying a lot of Isak's form was down to Murphy just getting the ball and putting it straight into him. But I thought the other player that didn't play well for us was Kevin. I thought he had a shocking game.
He did have some moments where he won a corner. He did a couple of things, but I think the overriding kind of feel that you get, he had a poor game and that he didn't do what he was there to do, which is break down the defence.
I want to make a point, and I want to give the kid credit as well, because Lewis Miley was playing right back for them, who is a midfielder, right? Incredibly young. We made him look like a prime Gary Neville. We made him look like the best right back. Like, Kevin should look at that and go, right, I've got to eat this kid for breakfast. He's a left winger, he's our record signing, and he's playing against a kid who's not a right back. And Kevin couldn't get past him, and then Traore couldn't get past him. It was a really odd game. Now, maybe Miley just secretly is an unbelievable right back, but I would like to see them go at him more. And, I mean, if you had to take a positive out of Kevin's performance, he was trying things.
Yeah.
I mean, he did a few lovely controls with the heel of his foot, but there were so many wayward passes.
Yeah, passing weren't powerful enough. Do you remember he had that potential? There was a break, wasn't there?
With
Wilson was steaming down that right wing, and all he had to do was cross it, and he was 1-on-1, and he just
I felt really bad for Wilson.
I think he was so
his
frustrated.
Shift, like, he's still on form.
Yeah.
He's in the form of his life, and you could tell it. He's desperate to get on the ball, and his teammates just couldn't help him.
No, I think it was a really agonising for him, that game. I mean, I've just felt frustrated. God knows what he must have felt like, but it was just so frustrating when we could have cut through them quite easily, and we didn't take the chances that were offered. So, like we said, we deserve that 2-1, especially after sort of 30-35 minutes, and we kind of just started doing a low block. What happened? What happened to us? And now, on the second half, we were just absorbing more and more pressure. And it was just, you just knew what was going to happen. There was no question that they were going to score because they were just pounding our net. I'm surprised it wasn't more. So why do you think, what was that, Silva saying, let's just wait for penalties? What do you reckon?
It gets to a point where it happens so often where you do have to say, okay, Silva is telling them to do this. Maybe he thought the highest chance of getting through to the next round was penalties. But as we've discussed, especially the last few weeks, we're best under Silva when we're aggressive and we're on the front foot. We can't go on the back foot, especially at St James's Park. They're going to get a goal. They were always going to get a goal, like they did earlier in the season. It was always going to happen.
So, I mean, at the end of the first half, there were more sort of punches out by Lecomte. I've written the 36th minute. He punched out instead of catching it. Newcastle putting more pressure on it. Lecomte kicked out straight to a Newcastle player, for example, in the 40th minute. But the light in that defence, I think, was Cuenca. I thought he was so reliable, steady, good skill, passing accurate. I just thought he had another really good game. And he, of all the defenders, he actually got the highest Opta points. I thought he had a good game, a solid game.
Well, other than Robinson.
Oh, I apologise. Yes, I don't think of Robinson.
Well, when you watch him, he's in their box. So
Sorry,
enough.
Listeners.
Cuenca was good.
Yeah,
I think we've got a really solid replacement, completely different to Bassi, and you could argue it affects the way we play because Bassi's very aggressive, and Bassi at his best is actually making overlaps, which Cuenca doesn't do. But it was nice to see a defender that really prioritised defending.
Yeah. What did you think of Smith Rowe? Again, I thought another sort
Not the game for him. I think,
How so?
Well, similarly to when we played Newcastle last, I think Newcastle are a team that rely on physicality, especially in midfield, physicality and legs, and I just don't think that's the sort of game for Smith Rowe.
Right.
I think they just kind of crowded him out, and I don't think he could really impact it like he has been previously.
So he was industrious, but his impact was...
I would argue that game would have maybe suited King more, because King would have given us more legs. He would have been able to make runs.
Before Tonali came on and Tonali just... would you say he bossed King?
I think there are certain players, and...
Yeah.
I mean, I was saying this during the game. Bruno Guimaraes probably fits into this category, but I would argue Guimaraes might be just like on the level where you're like, okay, he's a great player, but I wouldn't classify him as maybe too good for Newcastle. But when Tonali came on, it really looked like he was a level above everyone else.
He did. He did change. Like they really, I really just felt there was no doubt that they were going to score with him on the pitch, and the fact that they could bring on someone of that quality.
And Voltemada.
And Gordon.
Yeah.
So they had some very, very good subs to bring on. So at the end of that second half, I've just got a litany of mistakes, punching out instead of catching, Kevin losing the ball, etc., etc. And then we amazingly went in at 1-1. And then the second half starts, and then Reed comes on for Lukic. Apparently it was a slight injury, and he got booked, hadn't he? Yeah.
I mean, Lukic, to be fair, had a really good first half. He was making runs. I thought the yellow was a little harsh, but maybe it was a totting up process. Yeah. And he's got 2 goals at St James's Park this season, which is crazy, both headers.
Isn't that odd?
So it's a weird... I think at St James's Park, you have to prioritise physicality in midfield. Yeah. So maybe that's why it suits Lukic and it doesn't suit Smith Rowe. So maybe that's why that happened. But I thought we lost his legs when he went off. Yeah. That ability to stretch the pitch and, because it is a big pitch.
I was going to say that. Is that because little Craven Cottage is so tiny and you just use everything's crushed, and then you look at it, good God, it's about 3 times the size of Craven Cottage. It's huge.
If you look at what Eddie Howe's done there, it is basically about energy and covering space and covering ground, and that's worked wonders for them. It's got them into the Champions League, it's got them a trophy, and I really think that is a huge part of it. It's utilising that space, and it's really focusing on players that cover ground and are very physical, players like Joe Linton, Tonali. Obviously Gordon is a live wire. They have players like this that it's just suited them really well. Like, with the greatest respect, we know Dan Burn isn't some next level technical defender, but the fact that Eddie Howe has dragged these performances out of him shows that because he is physical and he can move for a guy his size, he's really utilised that well. So this is what Newcastle do, and I think when we play them, you kind of need to lean into that. And I thought maybe when Lukic went off, and maybe with the lack of that dynamic attack when Iwobi and Chukwueze aren't in the team, we were always struggling.
I kept imagining Iwobi's shadow moving around and was like, where is he? Where's he gone?
Well, he's never present, is he?
I literally kept searching for him, doing those wonderful meandering runs and spraying the ball from side to side. Oh, God, we missed him. So by the 57th minute, Newcastle had 70% possession because we were just sitting back. It was literally like, would you dare say, it was like watching Parker ball. It was literally like watching a Parker side just parking the bus. So that was quite depressing. Livramento had a chance as well. They kept having all these chances. King and Traore came on in the 72nd minute as Smith Rowe and
I
Kevin
don't know
came
what
on.
Traore does.
Yes, just to back that up with my Opta stats, he got minus 0.2.
I don't know what he does. He can't be that bad.
Well,
we know he's not that bad.
Well, he was nearly on for 20 minutes and he got minus 0.2.
It has to be a mental thing.
You think?
Or maybe we're told not to give him the ball in specific scenarios because he can't be trusted with it. But the lack of impact that he has on our team nowadays is really stunning. I mean, even last season he would come on and win us a few games with an assist or a goal. But it just seems non-existent at this point.
Do you think he's... Sorry to interrupt.
I think he's probably gone in January, yeah. He's making a minus impact. I mean, as you literally just said. He doesn't do anything. He's up against a kid at right back who's not a right back. And he didn't test him once. Because he was playing left wing.
Yeah.
So...
Astounding.
At least with Kevin, he was trying things and it wasn't coming off. Traore was just there. And, like, before he was even a Fulham player, no one loved watching Traore more than me. You know, he would get the ball, he would head down, take on 4 players. It's kind of why you watch football. But seeing someone just shackled and not able to do that and express themselves is actually really sad. And it's like... Go back to Wolves. Go back to Wolves where they've got nothing to lose. He might be a king there. They'll play to him and watch him be free because right now this isn't a free Traore. This is a Traore who's playing... Either he's tactically being stifled or there's a mental thing because he's not doing anything when he comes on.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of what you see, it's really depressing. And sort of to back up sort of these... the accurate passes, because I thought our passing by the end of the 30th minute got worse and worse. Newcastle's was 86% accurate passes to our 77%. Total shots, 14 to Newcastle, 6 to us. Shots on target, they got double us. They had 6 and we had 3. And touches in the opposition box, this is awful. Newcastle had 36 and we had 15. So there was a real lack of creativity. There was no directness in our play. And I just don't... It's like you say, why do we do this low block? We can't do it. We can't hold on to a draw. We can't hold on to a win. We know this. It's historical. And yet we still did it. And, you know, Wilson and Raul, if Raul was in their final third... like you said, had no service. And I don't know, obviously because it's the size of the pitch, everyone just looked shattered. I mean, Smith Rowe looked shattered when he came off. And then, of course, we had the one good moment that Lecomte had, which was...
right before the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a brilliant save.
Yeah, so that was the 90th minute, the Marley shot saved by Lecomte. So he had his little moment, which is probably why... his Optastat has leapt to 15 because I think otherwise it would be pretty damning. And then, of course, a minute later was the...
corner and Miley scored.
Yeah, and Berger didn't leap up high enough.
Ironic for someone who is the size of the BFG.
And then, excitingly, Kusi Asari came on for Berger.
Yeah, too late.
And
it's too late.
It's too late, and you've got Raul dragging himself around the pitch, and I still don't understand this. Oh, there's a lot I don't understand about this game. But, so anyway, our XG was 0.43, which is pretty woeful, and Newcastle 1.54. So, obviously, Newcastle listeners, you thoroughly deserve to win. Pretty tough fixtures.
I don't think they'll win it.
Not this time. Well, they do. They sometimes can pull out the stops, Newcastle, can't they?
Yeah, but if they played anything like they did against us, I think they were playing a poor team. And I think, it's City's the next draw, and we would have lost that anyway. So in the end, maybe we've been spared an awful game.
Yes. To see it as a blessing.
Yeah.
And quote unquote, we can concentrate on the league. So, listeners, we're going to now move seamlessly on to the rather scary fixture tomorrow.
It's a big game.
It is a really big game. And
because Leeds won, so they're 1 point off us. You do assume that West Ham, even though they're stuck on 13 points, with Nuno and with some of the quality they have, they will start catching up. So you are looking at Forest as a real competitor.
Well, I know Forest fans absolutely see us as doable.
Yeah, but so did Burnley.
So. No, I know, but Forest fans saying they at least expect a draw.
Oh, they should.
They
need to win this.
Yeah, and they also I listened to a very knowledgeable I mean, a lot of the Forest pods I listen to, they really know their stuff, and they knew a lot about Fulham, unlike a lot of pundits, and they are quite aware that we're missing 3 key players. And they just say, like, we've got to take advantage of this because Fulham are probably at a low ebb. We've lost the Carabao Cup, they were saying.
I think if you play Fulham, you have to acknowledge that they're not going to be as aggressive and they're not going to be as attacking, because we've really lost that central thrust with Bassi, Iwobi and Chukwueze. And I think the strategy against us is be very aggressive, because I don't think we have the tools to hurt teams on the counter.
Because the only thing that is good from our perspective is it's Sangari. He's he's at AFCON,
Ivory Coast.
So he's gone. But obviously, guess he's going to slot into place, which is Douglas Luiz, and apparently he might be fit. He may start. He's training apparently. Ollie Aina's been out for ages, and Wood's obviously still out. So they've only got.
They have a ginormous squad, don't they?
It's huge, isn't it? Because they spent a lot and quite wisely, it seems.
I'm worried about that midfield with Gibbs White, Anderson.
It's
against ours.
It's a brilliant. That midfield fills me with dread. It really does. It's so good, even with Sangari gone. If Douglas Luiz plays, it's just. Apparently, he's good for 60 minutes or so before he needs benching. How old is he?
I think he's still a good age. I'm not sure why it's not really worked out for him.
So Hudson Odoi's speed down that left. Is it the left? Left wing, and their defence is, again, especially under Dyche, is going to be pretty unbreakable.
Williams, even though he had a good time with us, always plays against us like he's got something to prove. Nico Williams, so that's going to be weird as well.
It's a game. It's obviously at the Cottage. But I'm kind of quite fearful, and I don't also like the fact that the Forest fans are quite upbeat about this, and how they see this as a pivotal moment in their season, like you were saying, that because then they get to 21 points.
Well, it's going to be
it's and they actually what was quite I was quite stunned that they kind of see Fulham maybe, I don't know, sort of a similar kind of band of team,
They won't, especially at the start of the season, because they were looking at top 4.
Exactly, but I think
now, yes,
absolutely, because their squad, would you say, is a lot better
top
than
10.
ours? Yeah,
if everyone was fit. They just made a few awful decisions, but it'll be interesting to see the Welsh. So it's Wilson versus Williams, isn't it?
Yeah, so they know each other well.
So hopefully Wilson can come out on top. I mean, I just hope Wilson continues this, because it's so nice to see him. He's playing with such confidence and like real drive. It's great to see.
It is, and it's horrible when you know someone, like you quite rightly said, that is in his pomp at the moment. It's the obvious frustration that is so awful. It really is horrible to watch. What do you think then our team should be then? What would you do?
I think King maybe should play this game
instead of Smith Rowe.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one because Smith Rowe has good games, and it feels like when he has an awkward game, it's like he's out again. But again, similar to Newcastle, I would perhaps look at King's energy and his ability to run as quite important in this game, especially when we're losing so much dynamism in attack. I mean, Raul has to start, really.
Well, in the Newcastle game, Wilson had 0 XG and Raul had 0 XG. That's how little service they got. Wissa had 0.92, 0 XG.
So he's not getting chances, Raul.
Basically, Wilson and Raul aren't getting chances, but to be fair to Wilson, he's actually putting himself in a place where he could, but he just doesn't get the service. Raul just hasn't got the legs at the moment. He's dead on his feet.
And it's going to have to be Kevin again, probably.
Well, yeah, I mean, his defence is that it's still very early days, and he's still working.
Well, it needs to be now, doesn't it?
It does.
Really?
It kind of, yeah.
Because when Chukwueze comes back, he's in the team, so it kind of needs to start doing it.
Yeah,
soon.
It does. Well, look, Fulham fans, there's absolutely nothing to worry about then, as we always say, and. Thank you so much for listening. Hopefully, we will be reviewing the Forest match, and hopefully, you never know, it might be quite an upbeat pod. We'll see. Take care and see you then.